Hi, hello! Before I get into the contents of this video, I just have to say that I came to shoot this video by the river and I found freaking grazing cows when I got here. This is just the best company for the video. Really thrilled. Enjoy. I don't want it to come off as a negative video about Costa Rica because obviously Costa Rica is beautiful. There's so much content out there showing you how much of a paradise it is, and obviously the nature is just so lush and tropical, and there's a bunch of amazing things that you can find people talk about online. But the specific purpose of this video is to talk about why the reasons are that I'm leaving. These are going to be personal reasons. I know that everyone has their own experience. I myself have visited Costa Rica 3 times before deciding to come live here, and I thought that I would be staying for much longer than I did. So that's why I want to share this video with you. Whether you're looking to go to Costa Rica, stay longer, digital nomad, you're just clicking on it because you're curious, I'm just sharing maybe the lesser known things that aren't talked about so much. Okay, so without further ado, number 1, veterinary care. I came here with 2 cats and I am leaving with 1. This has been a traumatic experience. I had went to many different vets. I'm sure there are quality vets, and I did end up driving 4.5 hours from where I was to the city of San Jose to go to their single veterinary office that specialized in cats, and they were finally understanding there. But good vets were very inaccessible if you were living outside of the city. So when I was preparing to come to Costa Rica, my vet said to wait here to start treating something, and then I realized getting here that was not smart advice. That is very difficult to receive the care that you would receive in North America here, and the medications just simply aren't even available. I'm not sure for human medication if it is similar. I'm guessing that there would still be more struggle than you experience in the States or Canada or any other westernized country. I always felt like I was looking up all of the information on my own for veterinary care and kind of just instructing the vets what to do, rather than them have a level of expertise that they're sharing with me. And there were several different occasions where actions were taken that should not have been taken. And overall, I think they just don't work with a lot of cats here. A lot of people have dogs. So that experience in and of itself really led to a huge grieving process, since my cat was my literal child and she died here, and I kind of feel like I killed her because I took her here somewhere that didn't have good veterinary care for her. Whereas if I stayed at home, like, she would probably still be alive. Obviously, we can't play the what ifs game, and I believe, everything happens for a reason, and that's how she chose to go. But I do have a little bit of that guilt on me, and let's talk about point number 2. I have this huge feeling of being a burden here. This is less so physically and people saying things verbally. It's more of just like an energetic vibe that I receive from being a sensitive person, and from being someone who understands and pays attention to local economies and what's happened with the pricing, and how many Americans have moved here to retire, and how much that has driven the prices up in Costa Rica to make it so unlivable for the locals. And I just feel all of this really deeply, and it's really hard to be in an environment like that. I definitely get treated better than people who do not speak Spanish, and the locals appreciate, that I can speak Spanish. So it's not necessarily that I'm experiencing physical discomfort from meeting people and that they're being rude. It's kind of just like the land in general, and American expats and expats in general have done to this place. I had visited before in 2018, in 2020, and in 2022, and now it's just like late stage capitalism is spilling over here and affecting everybody, and it just feels wrong to contribute to that. Okay, so sort of going along with that point, I also just feel super targeted here for my money. As being a gringo, you're seen as being very wealthy, which understandably so, compared to a lot of people living here in poverty, in shacks, and not in very good living conditions with few resources. If you have a nice car, I don't have a nice car. I bought a used car that's pretty banged up, so I fit in more with the locals. But our neighbors got their cars broken into and all their stuff stolen. All of my friends that have been to Costa Rica have an experience like getting scammed And yeah, I have had that experience here as well. Every Airbnb that I stayed in has kind of tried to like screw us over. And yeah, there's just kind of like a very scammy vibe of people trying to like get one over on you and make more money from you. And I felt that in other places of the world as well. It's not exclusive to here. It's anywhere that people are going to be fighting over resources, and especially when tourism is so big and things have gotten so expensive, it's just bound to happen. But this is one of the reasons, energetically, it's hard to be here. Adding on to that scammy vibe, our landlord here lied about the power and internet, and both myself and my partner work online. We work with clients, and it's therapeutic work that you can't just do in a coffee shop. And our power went out almost every single day, and we were in that place for months, and our landlord was very aggressive and hostile if we said anything. And I remember researching and seeing people say, good luck, you'll never get your deposit back in Costa Rica. So when I found our place that looked like a conscious spot that had sacred geometry and tapestries and hippie stuff, I was like, sweet, like that's not gonna happen to us. And now we're very much afraid that we're not going to get our deposit back, but still holding the highest timeline that we do. We said that we would leave a honest review online, and then they threatened to call the police on us several times and called us criminals and liars. And it's just been really activating for my nervous system to go through grieving my cat and all of the stress of moving to a new place and then have a terribly awful landlord and have no power in the jungle and have to drive 40 minutes to get to civilization because our phones also don't work in the jungle. So it's really just a big struggle. Okay, on to the next point, which I have as point number 5, is that I did not easily find the community that I came to Costa Rica for. I specifically left where I was in Michigan because I had no conscious community, and I had seen so much about people being here and there being a large expat community. And maybe in certain areas this is better than others. I was near Dominical, which is near Uvita, which is close to the Awake, like Conscious Life Center, and I had gone to a few static dances there, but it was much harder than I anticipated to kind of groove in with the community here. Maybe it would be better in Nosara. I was in Fortuna for a bit, which is super touristy and now pretty isolated in the jungle. Maybe if you're committed to it, I'm sure you can find some good community, but it was much more difficult than I had anticipated, and I had joined an animal rescue and working there to try to be around people, but it definitely didn't satiate what I thought I would receive here. My next point I want to talk about is that my body personally wasn't adapting well to the climate, which also made it really difficult to persevere and move somewhere else and keep redoing this over and over again, because the heat has been so energy draining that I just have not been able to do anything. Like, I wake up without motivation and there's just this like heaviness. And again, yes, there's other areas of Costa Rica that are going to have a cooler climate, but as someone who's trying to bring together all the pieces of being in nature and being near community, I was struggling. My body was struggling. I personally have circulation issues which affect me in the cold, and I'm seeing very much that it affects me in the heat as well. All right, taking me to my next point is that services and products are just very inaccessible here unless you're in the city. When my laptop just randomly stopped working, it's like, okay, now I need to drive 4.5 to 5 hours there and the same back in one day, just on the drop of a dime. I can't even tell you the amount of times I've driven 9 hours in a day because I have to go to San Jose from wherever I'm at. And especially as a content creator, someone who works online, someone who uses their computer, camera, accessories, you better stock up before you go to Costa Rica, because everything's gonna be much more difficult to find here. It's gonna be more expensive and lower quality when you do find it. Same thing with clothes and appliances, everything. Everything was way more expensive. And I know there's online discourse about this, I've read about it, but getting here and seeing how much that's true is a little bit shocking. Groceries are more expensive here. Even stuff that's grown here, I swear, like every time my partner and I go to the grocery store, we're like, how are the locals paying for this? Like, how are they doing it? Berries, like fully inaccessible, so expensive, and it's for a lower amount and a lower quality. Oh my god, there's goats and a family that's behind me. I'm taking you guys to the river now because the family of the cows showed up and they were standing right next to me. So I didn't want to continue recording. But that's really the end of my list for now. Now I'm kind of in burnout after all of this stress. A lot to handle. My partner and I are also both neurodivergent, so that adds a fun twist for the way our brains operate. And yeah, we've handled the stress pretty well, but we're very much over it. And he's going to be returning to Canada to just rest and relax and be around people after all this, which I fully understand. And I have so many friends in Canada, so I really wish I could be there as well. But it makes things difficult when you're not from the country. So I'm going to be going back to the States, really surprisingly, because I very much not a fan of what's happening in the States at the moment or at large, and I don't resonate with that. And the energy field can be really dark. But I'm going to be going to Colorado and just hanging out with some of my friends and getting some girl time in, getting some necessary community after this whole thing, because my nervous system just really needs a break, cannot handle any more stress. I was thinking of going somewhere else in the world, but yeah, I need a break for now. So if you guys stayed through the whole video, thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful for you, or at least entertaining. Let me know in the comments if you've been to Costa Rica, or if you have any other questions about things. I'm happy to share, and I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.